Hey y'all, this past Sunday we wrapped up our More Than Words series by turning our attention to our most recent confession, the Confession of Belhar, a statement that was born in South Africa during the deep pain of apartheid, but like all our confessions, still speak to us today. In worship, we heard from the Apostle Paul in Ephesians when he says, "Christ is our peace." He breaks down the walls that divide and make us into one household, joined together as God's new people. But what happens when the church itself is the one building the walls to separate one another? Well, that's the story behind Belhar. For centuries, the Dutch Reformed Church in South Africa didn't just allow racial segregation, it required it, teaching that it was God's will for humanity to be segregated by race. And so to put God's will into action, they created separate churches for white folks and black folks and anyone else that didn't fit neatly into one racial category. It's a reminder that before apartheid was law in South Africa, it was first a theology, a twisted misuse of faith to justify oppression and division. The Belhar Confession was written as a bold and painful no to all of that. It declares that unity is both a gift and a calling, that visible separation and hatred between people is sin and has no place in the Church of Jesus Christ. It says that we reject any doctrine, no matter how religious it sounds, that tries to force people apart because of race or color. Belhar doesn't just challenge the past. It's a mirror that gets held up to the church today. It calls out the ways that we are still complicit and silent or simply get it wrong. Like when churches spend millions of dollars on themselves but claims there's nothing left for the hungry or the unhoused. When we pick and choose which injustices to speak out about. When we claim to welcome all people, but our circles stay mostly the same. It's one thing to confess our faith together on Sunday mornings. It's another thing to live it out, to make those words real in how we treat one another, how we spend our money, and how we open our doors. Belhar refuses to let us off the hook. It demands we move from comfortable words to costly action. So what do we do with all of this? Well, here are two practices for you to try this week. First, I'd encourage you to notice who is missing. As you go through your week, whether at church or work or in your neighborhood, ask yourself, who isn't here? Whose voice isn't being heard? And pray for the courage to make your circles wider. Second, I'd invite you to choose just one concrete action of justice or reconciliation. Maybe it's reaching out to someone different from you. Maybe it's supporting an organization working for justice. Maybe it's naming and resisting injustice whenever you see it, even if it's uncomfortable. Do just one thing this week that moves faith beyond words. So as we conclude this series, remember this: it's one thing to say words surrounded by stained glass, but another thing entirely out here in the world. That's the challenge of the confessions. That's the task of faith, to make it more than just words.